Hey everyone, this is a very serious video on the value of a dollar. I could call it that, I guess. It's to do with how where we spend our money has a run-on effect, an economic or econometric effect, which is very difficult to discern. I've done a video previously on YouTube about whether we should be supporting small businesses, and I'll link that somewhere here because it's important for us to analyze where we're spending our money. And I'm going to go through a few theories about how we can be wise in how we spend our money. I had a discussion with my mum because she was saying things like, you should pay back that person who gave you a meal. It was an honesty thing, as far as I could see, but it wasn't an ethical thing because if I were to pay that $10, choose to pay that $10 to the business, that $10 would not be going to someone else who needs it more, such as a homeless person or a beggar, someone who is in desperate need for food, clothing, shelter, that sort of thing. So let's talk about it a bit more. So my mum's prevailing ideal was that, or her kind of prevailing motivation was that the small business was financially distressed and we should be giving them more money. And I questioned this and I said, respectfully, this is not right. 22,000 human children die each day. I can do the econometrics. Supporting these people, these small businesses, depends on many factors. And she said, moral support and being kind costs nothing. And then I said, I think you want to talk about honesty. This is not the same as allocating wealth. I would give the $10 to someone who is kind, minimalist, and in greatest need. And then she said, how do you know that they're not in this category? They do the work and I'm sure they're trying to make a living. Having a business is not easy. Overheads, getting helpers, and also they work long hours. So all these are fairly good points, but a small business is something that needs a lot of capital. And the people who run these businesses have to be rich to start off with. So the fact that the small business was not a fully vegan business was also indicative of the fact that they're causing ongoing cruelty to those lower down in the food chain. We always say, support your hardworking farmers, whereas they're harming other people, other animals, which is very ironic. So I did mention to my mum that these people who run the business are most likely to be profiteers who in the future will have more children, breed more suffering into the world, and not be vegans. Although I can encourage them to be vegans, they probably won't be in the future. So the $10 that you give to me as a minimalist is worth a lot more than the $10 than you give to someone who wastes it on something really trivial, like spending $3,000 on travel or an expensive car or something. I also wrote to my mum, 90% of small businesses are not ethical enterprises to start off with. So large businesses, this is even worse. Large businesses, the capitalist system under which they operate is so skewed and so in favor of making rich people even richer that it's even more immoral than small businesses. I also mentioned that humans are very complex creatures. The decisions that we make from day to day, we're not always sure where our money is going. And there's a kind of karmatic effect. I use the word karma, and in other videos that I did previously, I denounced karma because I don't think it's a real thing. But there is some karma in a certain way in how we spend our $20 or our $50 each day. Because it has a run-on effect on everybody else. So although I'm the guru, I might be the guru in this subject. I'm not the angel in this subject because I myself, when I go shopping for groceries, go to Woolworths and Coles in Australia to do my shopping. And the reason for that is because it's closest to the bus stop. So logistically, I can't go to a small business and buy my fruit and veggies, for example, It's much harder for me to do that. So all these considerations cloud my integrity. So I wrote also, the sadness of our society is that even when we think we are doing well for others, it's actually a very tall order to actually be doing the right thing. Having the smallest negative effect is much harder than having a large positive and an even larger negative effect. Also, whenever I make a large purchase, I think there's some ethical duty to know who's getting the money. Not all sellers are equal. The problem in our society is that market transactions are face-only transactions. You pay, you get the goods. You pay $200,000, you get the apartment. You pay $50,000, you get the car. No one knows where that money is going exactly. You think it's locally based, but you don't know where they're going to spend it, whether it's on more children or going on holiday or buying other stuff for themselves. In an ideal world, I would ask, how is the money being spent and who benefits from my purchase? So folks, I hope you've learned something very important in this video, and that next time you spend your money, you have a much clearer idea of where your money is being circulated and where it's going. Even if you don't know exactly where it's going, you have a firmer idea of, that you should be spending it in places where you think it's going to be most effective and most beneficial to those in greatest need, because it is very much a Ponzi scheme to be participating in this capitalist society that we live in. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.